Okay, so standing feet together.
Nikki, can you turn the volume up? I can't really hear you terribly well.
Can you not hear me?
I can now, but
Oh, you
not
can now.
before.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So standing
Sorry,
feet
thank you.
together, turning toes out, followed by heels. So just looking at your feet, make sure they're tracking straight and parallel to each other. Soft through the knees, hips facing forward, shoulders round and down and ears over the shoulders. Placing the hands on the hips, and we're just going to rock that pelvis forward and back. So just the pelvis, the upper body stays still, feeling the arching and the flattening of that lumbar spine. So finding the halfway point between the two, nice neutral spine position, placing the hands over the rib cage and drawing the shoulders down the back. Nice deep breath in through the nose, feel the rib cage expanding, and out through the mouth. And again, nice deep breath in through the nose. Try not to breathe up into those shoulders and out through the mouth. So while we continue with the deep lateral breathing, I want you to imagine that belt around your waist, drawing the sides towards each other and pulling the belly button back towards the spine. At the same time, feel those pelvic floor muscles like a lift coming up. 1, 2, 3. So tightness through the whole abdominal core region, but you can keep with that deep lateral breathing. So relaxing the arms down by your side, and we're going to start with some forward shoulder rolls. Nice big rolls, just releasing any tightness in those shoulders. Working with your breath one more time forward, and then we're going to reverse. So up to the ears, over the mountain, and down the other side. Good. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. One more time. And then relaxing those shoulders down the back, letting your arms hang down. So locking the shoulders down the back, we're going to float the arms up towards the ceiling. Just check those shoulders are staying away. You don't want those shoulders up around your ears. Out breath, push the air away as you bring the arms back down. Good. In breath, float the arms out to the side, locking the shoulders down the back. We're going to hold the arms there, palms facing away from you. Drop the elbows down to shoulder height and then squeeze those shoulder blades together at the back. In breath, float the arms up towards the ceiling. On the out breath, drop the elbows to shoulder height and squeeze those shoulder blades together. One more time. In breath, up to the ceiling. Out breath, drop the elbows down, squeeze the shoulder blades together, place the hands behind the head, interlock those fingers. Good. So shrugging those shoulders up to your ears and then draw the shoulder blades down the back, squeeze those elbows towards each other at the back, and then relax the arms and float them down. Good. So we're going to float the arms up to shoulder height. Take the hands behind the head, interlock the fingers, shrug the shoulders up to the ears, draw the shoulder blades down the back, squeeze those shoulder blades together at the back. We're going to hold that position, squeezing those shoulder blades together, standing nice and tall, and then we're going to drop the chin to the chest. Place keeping the hands behind the skull and just gently increasing that stretch forward. But try not to tip forward with the upper body. Breathing through that stretch. Good. Coming back up to standing. We're going to relax the arms down. Interlock the fingers behind you, turn the hands inside out. Again, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and we're lifting the hands up away from the glute and just opening up through the chest. Good. Nice deep breath. And then relax and shaking those arms off. Good. So dropping left ear to left shoulder, right arm behind the back, drawing the right shoulder down, left hand over the head, and just gently feeling that stretch down the side of the neck and across the top of the shoulder. Breathing through that. Good. And then coming back up to the center, dropping right hip to right shoulder, left arm behind the back, right hand over the head. And again, just gently feeling that stretch down the side of the neck, across the top of the shoulder. Breathing through that. And coming back up to the center again and rolling the shoulders back. Excellent. So left hand down, right arm up. And lengthen through the waist over into the left side. Bend, keep that hip centered. And then gently push that right hip out to increase that stretch. Good. In breath to center. Changing arms. Lengthening through the waist, slide that right hand down, keeping that hip centered, and then gently pushing that hip out to increase the stretch. And in breath to center, back up again. Excellent. So working with the one leg, if you need to hold on to something, just grab a chair or something and place the hands on the hips. We're going to lift the right heel up off the floor. So we're centering that left foot into the mat or floor. In fact, if you're standing on the mat, you're probably easier to stand on the floor. Good. So keeping those hips level, we're going to slide the right foot forward and sliding that right leg back in again. Good. Now we're going to lift the right leg and float it forward and floating back. Good. One more time. Floating that right leg forward and floating it back. Taking the toe to the floor. We're going to take the leg out to the side and draw back in. So at all times you want to be thinking about what that left foot is doing. Good. We're going to float it out to the side and floating back in. Thinking about the level pelvis. Good. One more time. Float out to the side and floating back in, toe to the floor, sliding the right leg back and slide it back in. And then we're going to lift it. We're floating the right leg back to the center. One more time, floating the right leg back to the center. Keep that leg lifted if you can. And we're going to work on all three planes. So we take the leg out in front, round to the side, back to the back and center. One more time, float the leg forward, out to the side, back and center, and take that right foot to the floor. Circle those hips. Sorry, circle those hips, loosen off that pelvis, both directions. Got a wobble on. Okay, good. Back to neutral spine. Plant that right foot into the floor. Lift that left heel up and think of the level pelvis. If my pelvis doesn't look level, it's because my camera's on a wonk. So don't, make sure you're looking at yourself so you can see that level pelvis. Okay, and we're sliding that left leg forward and sliding back in. Good. And then we're going to float. So lifting the leg up, we're floating the left leg forward and floating it back. One more time. Floating the left leg. Think. So core engaged, keeping that pelvis level, toe to the floor. We're going to slide it out to the side and back in again. And then we're going to lift and float it out to the side and floating back in. Good. One more time. Floating out to the side and floating back in. Toe back to the floor. Slide the left leg back and sliding back in. And then again, we're going to lift and float the left leg back and float back in. One more time. Floating the left leg back and floating back in. We're going to work on all three planes. So take the left leg out in front, round to the side, take it back and bring it back to the center. One more time. Float it forward out to the side, sweeping it back, bring it back to the center, standing back on it, and we're going to circle the pelvis. If it's any consolation, that's probably equivalent to about 10 squats. So
that's good.
preference, squats or standing on one leg?
Squats.
Squats. Did someone say squat? Okay.
Squats.
So we're going to stand at the end of the mat rolling away in front of you, core engaged, soft knees. Think of relaxing those shoulders and neck. So drawing the belly button to spine on the in-breath, on the out-breath, we're taking chin to chest, and we're slowly peeling that vertebra off the wall behind you. Arms hanging, head hanging. Slowly letting that crown of the head weight you down to the floor. Holding it there for a breath. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're scooping belly button to spine. We're rounding back up. Take your time. Feel the articulation through the vertebra joint. Come up to standing and rolling those shoulders down your back. Good. One more time. Deep breath in. Draw the belly button to spine. As we breathe out, chin to chest. Peeling the vertebra off the wall behind you. Just let those arms hang like a rag doll. Crown of the head weighting you down to the floor. This time, as you come down to your feet, you're going to either hook the fingers underneath your toes or place them flat onto the floor. Hang the head down, shoulders down the back, and we're going to straighten through that left leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and soften through the right leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and soften, straightening through both legs, head hanging, shoulders down the back, feeling that lovely stretch through the calves and hamstrings. Going to soften through the knees, walk the hands forward, and we're coming down onto all fours. Good, so top of the feet flat on the floor, knees underneath hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. Drawing that belly button to spine, so we're nice and flat, neutral spine position. Good. Thinking of the inside of the elbow joints wrapping around and facing each other. So into the shoulder drops or dips. So we're going to dip down between the shoulder blades and we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together at the back. On the out breath, we're lifting up out of the shoulder joint and broadening between the shoulder blades. In breath, so try and keep the arms straight. We're not bending the elbows, we're just sliding down between the shoulder blades. As the shoulders lift up, we're sliding the shoulder blades together. Good. And then we're lifting back out to those shoulders. Good. One more time. In breath, dipping down between the shoulder blades, sliding them towards each other. Out breath, broadening and lifting out of the shoulder joint. Good. Into the cat stretch. So in breath, rounding thoracic back up to the ceiling. On the out breath, we're lengthening tail and crown. Feet on through into that back extension. Take the eyes to the ceiling. In breath, flexing through that back. Draw the shoulders away from the spine. On the out breath, we'll lengthen tail and crown, feet on through into that back extension. Good. In breath, flexing, rounding through that back. On the out breath, lengthen tail and crown. Draw the belly button to spine. We're going to hold this back extension. Just feel that nice stretch through the back. And then we're going to flex it off, rounding up to the ceiling. And coming back to your neutral spine position. Brilliant. So into the hip drop. So we're going to drop both hips to the right. Turn and look over your left shoulder at your feet. In breath to center. On the out breath, dropping both hips to the left. Turn, look over the right shoulder at your feet. Good. So we're just going to keep going, working with the breath. Taking the hips to the left for the out breath. In breath to center. Now the focus is on the hips dropping, not so much on the turning. So if you're finding it hard to look over your shoulder, focus on how far you can get the hips dropping each side, because we're just loosening off your pelvis and lower back here. Good. So we started to the right. We want to finish with one to the left. And when you've done that, we'll sit back on your heels, head down into the mat, creeping those fingers away from you. And then I want you to lift your glutes up away from the hips, away from the heels, walk the hands forward and just open up. Heels, imagine that ball inflating underneath you, you're rounding back up, stacking that spine. Excellent. So back onto all fours again. I'm going to slide the left leg back, tuck that left toe underneath you, drop that left hip down, pushing back through the hands. Now if you're struggling with the wrists a little bit, come onto forearms here and push back, take the heel to the floor. And we're holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slide that left leg back in. Good. So slide the right leg back, tuck the right toe underneath you, push back through the hands. Try not to hitch that hip up. Feel that stretch through the calf as you take the heel to the floor for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and draw that right knee back in. Good. So into the leg and arm raise, right hand forward, left leg slides back. Think about dropping the hip and the shoulder as we reach the arm forward and back. Good. Strong through the core. Lower back down and slide it back in, trying not to shift the weight. Left hand forward, right leg back, reaching forward and back, strong through the core, lower back down and sliding back in. Good. Right arm forward, left leg back, reaching forward and back. This time we're going to take the leg and arm out to the side. Don't twist the torso. Keep the torso tracking straight. In breath to center. Lower back down and sliding back in. Good. Left arm, right leg, reaching forward and back. Take it to the side. Keep the shoulders square to the mat. Good. Back to the center, lower back down and sliding back in. Good. Right hand forward, left leg back, reaching forward and back. This time we're going to bring the knee forward, drop the nose to the knee and lengthen back away again. Good. In breath, have a look at what your right knee is doing. Make sure you're staying centered on the right knee and lengthen back away again. Lower back down and sliding back in. Good. Last one, left hand forward, right leg back, reaching forward and back and draw the knee forward. Drop the nose to the knee. Check what that left knee's doing. You want to stay centered on that left knee. Good. Drop the nose to the knee. Lengthen it back away again. Lower back down. Slide it back in. We're going to sit back on your heels. Open your knees out as wide as you can. Sorry. Walk the hands forward. Now, if you need to stay lifted slightly, that's fine. Just feel that stretch. And then we're going to walk the hands to the left, reaching that right arm away from you, trying to keep the weight down onto your heels and feel that lovely opening and stretch through that right side. Good. back to the center again. And then we're walking the hands around to the right, reaching that left arm away from you, keeping the weight towards your heels. Breathe through that stretch. Back to the center again, and then you're going to walk the hands back up as you round back up and stack that spine. Excellent. So we're taking the legs out in front of you now. Good. So coming to the front of the mat, knees are bent, spine is stacked, arms out in front of you. Now we're going to do the roll back C curve. So keeping the shoulders down the back, think of keeping broad through the chest. Try not to close those shoulders up. On the in-breath, we're going to draw the belly button to spine, and then we're C-curving that spine as we roll back down, not all the way down. We're just rolling back to the C-curve. Check that belly button is pulled to spine. Hold for an in-breath. As we breathe out, we're rolling back up and stacking. Good. So deep breath in. As we breathe out, draw the belly button, C-curve that lumbar spine, but keep broad through the shoulders. Good. Check that belly button is pulled in. Hold for an in-breath. Roll back up and stack. Good. One more time. On the out-breath, draw the belly button to spine. Keep soft and relaxed through those shoulders. On the out breath, rolling back up. We're going to open the knees out. Take the hands, hook them underneath, round over your feet, and just take your head towards the floor. Good. And just breathing through that stretch. Good. So rounding and stacking the spine, we're going to take both legs long, squeezing the feet and knees together. Arms out in front, and we're going to roll all the way down to the floor. So deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're drawing the belly button to spine, C-curving that spine. We're coming down lumbar, thoracic. Take the head down. Reach the arms over the top. So you've got the back of the hands on the floor. The feet are in flexion and slight hip width apart between the feet. Good. Think about relaxing that neutral spine towards the floor. And we're going to reach that left arm back behind your head, trying to touch the door or wall behind you. And relax. And then reaching that right arm, trying to touch the wall behind you. Good. As we do the left arm now, I want you to lengthen that left leg out of your hip joint. Keep the flexion through the feet. Relax, and we're going to do right arm and right leg now. Reaching back, lengthening the leg out of the hip joint. Left arm, left leg. And relax. Right arm, right leg. Good. And relax. Brilliant. We're going to bend those knees. Relax the arms down by your side, and we're going to find our neutral spine position. So imagining that marble on the belly button, back of the head relaxed onto the floor. We're going to roll that pelvis forward, so we're arching through the lumbar spine. As we do that, we're going to take the chin up towards the ceiling. On the out breath, we're flattening through the lumbar spine, and as we do that, we're going to slide the chin towards the chest. So in breath, arching through the lumbar spine, taking the chin up towards the ceiling. On the out breath, we're flattening through the lumbar spine, chin towards the chest. One more time. In breath, arching through the lumbar spine, chin to ceiling. Last one, flattening through the lumbar spine. Slide the chin towards the chest, keeping the length through the back of the neck. We're going to reach the right and left arm up towards the ceiling, palms facing each other, shoulders down the back. Good. So on the in-breath, we're going to float the arms out to the side, reaching those fingers away from you and dropping those shoulders down to the mat. Think of the rib cage staying down. On the out-breath, floating back up to the ceiling again. In-breath, float the arms out to the side, opening and broadening through the chest. Relax the shoulders to the floor. Out breath, floating back up to the ceiling again. So we're going to reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. Feel the shoulder lifting away from the mat. As we lower the shoulder back down, we're going to slide the shoulder blade down the back. Good. Reaching that left arm up towards the ceiling. As we lower the shoulder to the floor, slide that shoulder blade down the back. Reaching that right arm up towards the ceiling. We're going to bring the right arm over to the left. Follow the hand with the head. So we're taking the hand towards the floor, but don't force it. Feeling that opening behind that right shoulder. Back up to the ceiling again. And as you lower the shoulder to the mat, slide the shoulder blade down. Good. Reach that left arm up towards the ceiling. Bring it over to the right. Follow the hand with the head. Bring the hand towards the floor. Breathing through that stretch. Take that arm back up to the ceiling again. And as you lower the arm, slide the shoulder blade down your back. Excellent. Both hands facing away from you now. We're going to take left arm up above the head, right arm is down towards your feet. Keep the fingers on the floor. We're dragging the fingers on the floor as we take both arms out to the side, finishing with the left arm up, a right arm up above the head, left hand down towards your feet, and draw the arms back up to the ceiling again. Good. So right arm up, left arm down. Dragging the fingers on the floor. Good. So bringing the left arm up above the head, right arm down, and draw the arms back up to the ceiling again. Brilliant. So just relaxing the arms down by your side, shrugging those shoulders down your back. Still thinking about the length through the back of your neck. We're coming up into our shoulder bridge position. So arms are relaxed by your side. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're curling that pelvis up off the mat, peeling the vertebra one at a time, pushing forward through the front of the thighs, squeezing the glutes as we come up into that shoulder bridge position. Think of shoulders relaxed, neck relaxed as we just turn the head from left to right. Make sure there's no tension there. And we're coming back down, one vertebra at a time, keeping that pelvis curled up until the end. Good. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're curling that pelvis up off the mat, peeling the vertebra one at a time as we come up into the shoulder bridge position. Hips lifted, rib cage down. We're working with the glute squeezers. So we're going to drop 2 centimeters and squeezing back up for 9 and squeeze. 8. Keep the rib cage down. It's just the hips and squeezing the glutes for 6. 5. If you're not feeling a burn in those glutes, squeeze them up. 4, 3, 2, last one, and we're coming back down. One vertebra at a time, keeping the pelvis curled up to the end. Good. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're curling that pelvis up off the mat, peeling the vertebra one at a time as we come up into that shoulder bridge position. Hips lifted, rib cage down. And we're going to drop and squeeze the glutes for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and we're coming back down, one vertebra at a time, keeping the pelvis curled up to the end. Hug those knees into your chest, rock from side to side. Good, just loosening that back off. Giving those glutes a little break. So taking the feet back down to the mat, knees are keeping the hip width apart between the knees and the feet, arms out to the side, palms to the ceiling. Good. So we're wringing out the washing. We're going to start to roll the right hand back along the floor as we roll the left hand forward along the floor. So I've noticed now I've got to see a few people doing this in kind of attended classes, that maybe if you're not feeling like you're really getting a good roll through the arm going forward and back, we need to just increase that a bit. So you really want to feel like you're taking the arm forward and back to its full extent there, not forcing it, but just really taking the arm back as far as it can go, rolling forward and back. Now we're going to start to turn the head towards the hand that is rolling back on the floor. So the shoulder that stays down into the mat, we're turning the head towards that shoulder. Good. Once you've got the rhythm of that, we're going to now start to drop the knees opposite direction to the head. So in breath to center and out breath, dropping the knees out of the way. Brilliant. Good. In breath to center, and as one arm rolls back, one arm rolls forward, we're dropping the knees. Brilliant. Good. Keep going. Breathing through it. We're going to do one more to each side. Just holding, allowing that back to relax. Good, and we're coming back up to the center again. Place the hands onto your hips. Think about that neutral spine position, and we're floating the left leg up to tabletop. Again, think what that lumbar spine is doing, keeping it into the mat. We're going to slide that right heel away from you. Now, so the right foot is on the floor, lengthened away from you. If you feel that that back has popped up, then just bend that right knee slightly to keep that lumbar spine down into the mat. So making sure you're not moving and rocking from left to right through the hips, we're going to start drawing circles on the ceiling. We're taking that hip through its full range of movement there. So I want you to make those circles as big as you can, but without any rocking from side to side. So we're engaging that core. Good. For 3, we're doing 5. For 4. If you feel like you're not using your core muscles, then I want you to make those circles bigger. For 5, and then we're changing direction. For 5, good. 4, rock solid. Don't let yourself, the weight shift from left to right. Good, 2 more. And last one. Good. Back to tabletop position. We're going to lower that left foot to the floor. Slide the right leg up to tabletop. Think about the lumbar spine as you slide that left heel away from you. Don't let that lumbar spine pop up. Good. Keeping the hands on the hips, we're going to start to draw the circles with the right leg. Again, as big as you can make those circles. Taking the ball all the way through the circumference of that socket joint, but without any rocking from side to side. For 3, 2 more. For 4, good. If there's any discomfort in your hip, obviously reduce those circles. For 5, and we're changing direction. For 5. For 4. Good. For 3. For 2. If you're feeling a bit of clicking, that can be quite normal as long as there's no pain with it. Last one, it just probably means you're quite tight in the hips, so this is a good exercise. We're going to hug that right knee into your chest. Keep the flexion through the foot of the left foot and keep that leg lengthened away from you. Then we're going to drop the right hand down to your side. Draw that knee up and over towards your left shoulder. Good. So you should be feeling a pull behind that, but through your right glute or right IT band. If not, bring that leg up and over a little bit more. You might even want to come onto your left side slightly if you're not feeling enough of a stretch. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Center back up. Take that right foot to the floor. We're sliding the left knee up to your chest. Lengthen the right leg away from you, hugging that knee into your chest. Keep that right leg as lengthened and keeping the flexion through the foot. And then drop the left hand down to your side. We're going to bring that left knee up and over to your right shoulder. Again, you might want to roll slightly onto your right side to increase that stretch. Good. Breathing through that for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and center that back up again. Good. Keep the left leg in tabletop. We're going to float the right leg up to tabletop. Now, remembering trying to keep the knees over the hips, okay? If you bring your knees up over your chest, you're obviously taking the work out of your core. If you can, we're not coming up with holding our heads. We're coming up from the breastbone. We're going into single leg stretch. So we're lengthening one leg away and then the other. Keep that belly button drawn to spine and the back locked down. If your neck starts to get uncomfortable, support the head. And if it still is uncomfortable, take the head back down. But if you have the head on the floor, make sure that lumbar spine is staying down. Good. So we're going for 4 more to each side. For 3 and 3. Keep that belly button drawn in. For 2. For 2. Last ones. Keep the legs up into tabletop position, hands behind the head. We're coming into crisscross. So we're taking the right rib to the left hip. Center, left rib to right hip. Again, neck issues. Keep the head down and you're going to roll on to one elbow and then the other. Just make sure when you center the knees before you turn to the other side, because I don't want you swinging from one side to the other. We're doing 2 more to each side. Out breath, in breath, out breath. Good. Last ones. In breath, out breath. Excellent. Hug those knees in. And loosen off the back. Thumbs up for anybody feeling their core. Good.
I feel everything.
All right. So we're going to take those feet back down to the mat, closing the knees and feet together. Take the arms out to the side, palms to the ceiling. Good. So again, the focus is on core engaged and lumbar spine staying down towards the mat. On the out breath, we're going to drop both knees down to the right. We're keeping the feet stacked. This time, head goes to the left. Good. So keep the feet on top of each other. Head goes to the left. If you're feeling any, we're just going to hold it there. If you're feeling any tightness in that back, we're just going to breathe through that. And then we're going to lengthen the left leg over the right, knee toe towards the floor. If your toe is actually reaching the floor, then you can increase the stretch by taking the toe to the ceiling, heel to the floor. And obviously, the more you bring the leg up towards the right hand, the more of a stretch you're feeling there. Good. Stacking the knees and ankles. Take the lumbar spine to the mat as we center back up. Good. On the out breath, keep the feet stacked. We're taking both knees over to the left, head goes to the right. Again, just breathing through that stretch. And then when you feel ready, we're going to extend that right leg over the left knee, sliding up towards the left hand. And then again, if you want to increase it, toe to the ceiling, heel to the floor. Breathing through that stretch. One more time. And then we're stacking knees and ankles. Take the lumbar spine to the mat as we center back up. Good. So floating the left leg up to tabletop. Control the movement with the core. I want you to count to 3 as you lower both legs down to the right. For 3, for 2, for 1. Keep the hand width between the legs. Take the lumbar spine to the mat as we come up. 3, 2, 1. And changing legs. Good. On the out breath, both legs to the left, and we're lowering for 3, for 2, for 1. Control it through the core, and we're coming back for 3, for 2, for 1. Excellent. If you're feeling that's quite comfortable for you, let's progress to double leg up. If it's feeling like you're pulling on your back, stay with the one leg, and we're taking both legs over to the right for 3, 2, 1. Controlling it with that core. Good. And center back up again. The only reason I'm counting is because some people are quite quick with this, so I just want you to do it nice and slowly. That's when we're working the core. The slower the better. And take the lumbar spine to the mat as we center back up. Good. One more time to each side. Breathing out. Control the movement. If you're in double leg, keep the knees and feet squeezing together. Back to the center, over to the left, head goes to the right, come up, back up to the center again, hug those knees into your chest, take the knees apart and really rocking and loosening that back off. Good. Okay, so we're grabbing those bands. Place it around the left foot and holding the band in that left hand. We're taking a nice pull, so we're feeling that stretch through the hamstring there. Try and get that elbow relaxed down to the floor and check there's no tension in the shoulder there. Good. And we're just keeping that stretch on the band. Now, if you feel any discomfort behind your knee, remember to just bend that knee ever so slightly. Don't bend it too much, otherwise we take the hamstring out of the equation. And that's the muscle we want to be stretching. Breathing through that. Keep the pressure on. And then we're going to take that left leg out to the side. Now keep that right hip down into the mat. Don't roll onto your left side. Feel that stretch through that inner thigh. Breathing through that. Good. Back up to the ceiling. Band in the right hand. Bring that leg up and over to the right side. Don't lift up that left side. Keep it down into the mat. Good. Breathing through that stretch. 3, 2, 1, and center back up again. Open the band out. Change legs. So right foot into the band. Left leg comes back to the floor, holding the band in that right hand, and we're taking a good pull, feeling that stretch through the hamstring. Good, just breathing through that. Excellent. And then take the leg out to the right side. Keep that left side down. Don't rock up onto the hip. Feel that stretch through the inner thigh. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the leg back up to the ceiling, band in the left hand. Bring that leg up and over to the left side. Again, try not to lift that right side up off the mat. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and center back up again. Brilliant. Take the band off. We're very gently going to come up to a sitting position, so roll on your side. Now, Catherine, how's your hip and lower back?
It's just there. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, Catherine, leave the band. Margaret, leave the band. Anybody else with any hip or lower back pain, leave the band. The rest of you, we're going to tie the band around our legs. Good. Nice, quite a firm fit. Just make sure you've got at least a hand's width distance between the knees and the band, because we don't want to be putting any pressure on that knee joint.
The blood.
Okay, so we're going to come onto our right side. Good. So lying on that right arm, heel in line with hip, in line with shoulder. So we're in a nice straight line there. The hips are staying stacked and the shoulders are stacked. Good. Hands on top of the top hip. Keep the feet together. Squeeze through that left glute, and we're taking the knee up towards the ceiling. So keep the feet together for the first couple and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, squeeze that left glute, knee to the ceiling, and we're pulsing it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, knee and ankle up towards the ceiling, squeezing those glutes, and we're pulsing it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. One more time. Squeeze that left glute. Good. Tuck that tailbone underneath you, and we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lowering back down. Excellent. Both legs away from you. We're pointing through the top toe. Take the leg up as high as you can. Flex, lengthen, lift the waist away from the mat as you lower. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen that hip away and lower. Good. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen and lower. Last one. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen and lower back down. Good. Toe pointing to the floor. Now remember, if it starts to feel uncomfortable, either just stop, or you could do it with a bent knee that just takes a bit of pressure off that hip joint. So toe to the floor, take the leg up, toe to the ceiling to lower back down. Toe to the floor, up, toe to the ceiling to lower. Good. 3 more. Toe to the floor, up, toe to the ceiling, lower. 2 more. Toe to the floor, up, toe to the ceiling to lower. Last one. Toe to the floor, up, toe to the ceiling, lower back down. Good. Give it a pat off, having a 10-second break. And then pointing through the toe, we're taking the leg up to hip height. Kick the leg forward, flex, slide the leg back for 1, for 2, pointing through the toe. Kick the leg forward, flex, slide the leg back for 1, for 2, 2 more. pointing, kick the leg forward, flex, slide it back. Any pinching in the back, tuck that tailbone underneath you. Last one, pointing forward, flex, kick the leg back for 1, for 2. Bend the knee, catch hold of your ankle, heel to the glute. Slide the knee back till you start to feel a nice pull through the front of the thigh. Remember, try to keep the knee in line with the hip, so not resting on your lower leg and not up towards the ceiling. Keep sliding the knee back. Keep the pressure, keep that stretch going. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax that off and give it a pat. Excellent. So we're turning onto our left side. Just as you're turning, check where the band is. Make sure it hasn't slid down towards the knees. So lying back on your left side, heel, hips, shoulder in line. Hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. Hand on top of the top hip. Keep the feet glued together as we take that knee up towards the ceiling. We're squeezing through the glutes and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, knee up towards the ceiling. Don't rock back on the hip, and we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, knee and ankle, check that glutes fired up. And we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, squeezing through that glute, and we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lowering back down. Brilliant. Lengthening both legs away from you, pointing through the top toe. We're taking that leg up. Flex, lengthen the hip away as you lower back down. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen, and lower. Good. Last one, pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Good. Toe towards the floor. Remember, if it gets too much, bend that knee up. Toe to the ceiling to lower. Good. Toe to the floor. Take the leg up. Toe to the ceiling to lower back down. 3 more. Toe to the floor to come up. Toe to the ceiling to lower. 2 more. Toe to the floor to come up. Toe to the ceiling to lower. Last one. Toe to the floor to come up. Toe to the ceiling to lower back down. Excellent. 10-second break. Give it a good pat off. Good. Pointing through the top toe, taking the leg up to hip height. We're kicking it forward. Flex. Slide the leg back for 1, for 2. Pointing. Kick the leg forward. Flex. Slide it back for 1, for 2. Any pinching in the lower back? Tuck that tailbone underneath you, pointing to go forward. Flex. Slide back for 1, for 2. Last one. Pointing to bring it forward. Flex, slide it back for 1, for 2. Bend that knee, catch hold of the right ankle, heel to the glutes, slide the knee back. So you're feeling that good stretch through the right front, right thigh. Keep increasing that stretch. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and shake that leg off. Excellent. So again, very slowly, we're going to come up to sitting. We're going to take the band off. And then the legs are out into a V. flexion through the feet. So take the legs out as wide as you can, that you feel a pull through that inner thigh, stacking that spine, crown of the head to the ceiling. So hinging from the hips, we're walking the hands forward, keep the shoulders down the back. Good. So we're feeling it through that inner thigh and also through that lower back. Then we're going to place the elbow inside of the left knee. Drop the waist over the knee. Right arm comes over the top. Now, if you can hook it onto your toe, great. And eyes to the ceiling. If you feel you're uncomfortable with the right arm, you can't get the rotation, leave the right arm down, just take the eyes to the ceiling. I'm wanting to get the rotation more than worrying about that right arm. Good. We're going to turn the chest to your knee, walk the hands forward, right elbow inside of right knee, left arm over the top if you can take hold of that left foot, and then eyes to the ceiling. Again, don't worry about the left arm if that's feeling too much. Just get that rotation, eyes to the ceiling. Brilliant. Chest back over the knee. Walk the hands forward. And then we're going to walk the hands back up. Stack that spine. Brilliant. So closing the knees and feet together. Drop the hips, so hinging from the hips, drop over those knees, shoulders down the back. We're just breathing through that stretch, just loosening that lower back off fractionally. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're rounding and stacking that back up. Good. Okay, so we're turning on to all fours. Remember this from last week? So I'll talk you through once we're up into it. Actually, I'm just going to show you again quickly, because for those who want to do an alternative. So we're going to come up to down dog. We're going to take the right foot to the edge of the left side of the mat, sliding the left leg back. Now, if that's never going to happen, then you can do the standing psoas stretch. Okay, bent knee, straight back leg, driving the hip forward. Okay, so sorry, my speaker's just fallen off. I'll put that in. Okay, everyone happy with alternatives?
Yeah.
Okay, tap the toes underneath you. Push up to down dog. Heel to the floor. Heels to the floor. Head through to the knees. We're just breathing through the stretch, through the shoulders, calves and hamstrings. Relax the head back between the arms. Take that right leg to the left side of the mat, and then slide that left leg back. So the right foot should be clear of that left hip, and then we're walking the hands forward, head down into the mat. So Jane, Rod, do you want to do the standing? You all right there?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just got slight cramp.
Cramp. Oh, sorry. So walk the hands forward so your head is down. Then we're going to start to lift up, so almost like a half cobra. Start to walk the hands back, shoulders down the back, and then I want you to drive that left hip down into the mat. So we're getting a stretch through that lovely psoas muscle. If you're not getting much of a stretch, you can hook that left toe behind you and then drive that left hip down. Good. So tucking the left toe underneath you, lift up, bring the right leg back, so you're back to the down dog. And we're going to bring that left leg forward now to the right side of the mat. Lengthen the right leg back. And then walking the hand forward, head down to the mat. Good. So, Catherine, just relax your left toe. Let the back of the toe come onto that's it. You've got it. Good. And then walk the hands back. A bit disheveled. Walk the hands back. So almost thinking half cobra. Good. Driving that right hip down into the mat. Again, if you want to increase it slightly, you can tuck the toe underneath you, because you're then getting a bit of height, and then drive that right hip down. And then we're going to tuck that right toe underneath you, push up, bring the left leg back into your down dog, heels to the floor, head through to the knees. And then we're soften through the knees, walking the hands back towards your feet. And on the out breath, we're slowly rounding back up, stacking that spine. Well done, everyone.
Oh.